I've never been a big fan of Trump, but I agree with something last week. With the whole pull out of Syria.
Yeah, we don't need to be in these foreign wars.
We don't have any business in the Middle East. Period.
Thank you. I would guess that one of my main functions out there, besides holding down my little corner of the city, making it safe for conservatives to come by, is to also be somebody that a liberal might be able to converse with that might not have had a chance any other circumstance. You know, I mean, I get from time to time, like this couple, I think, come up and they're curious. I mean, and this guy is, if anything, he is what I guess you would classify as a moderate Democrat or liberal. On the fence, I don't know if I'll ever convince this guy to vote for Trump or go, to vote right. He is a teacher, and he seems to be, trying to follow all the social justice norms to make sure he checks off all the boxes there. But you can see he's on the fence on a few things. But anyway, it's a conversation with someone that at least listened, and hopefully my function here is to kind of break that left-right paradigm and let them get to see that it's not just the Democrats, it's not just the Republicans, it's us, and it's the deep state, and it's nationalism, and it's globalism, and that this little left-right paradigm that they try to stick us into is sort of like kitty sandbox politics, I guess, And if they can see the broader picture, then possibly can see, or start asking some broader questions. So that's what this is, and if you like it, you like it. If you care, you share, and if you can contribute. And the buttons are on the description. And anyway, give us one listen if you like it. Hit the like button and share it. And I'll check you out on the flip side of this. How you doing?
How are you?
Where are you from?
I'm from Central Mississippi, right outside of Jackson.
What do you do there?
I'm a school teacher.
Oh.
I do lawn care and landscaping too.
Okay. Wonderful. And yourself, young lady? Mm-hmm. Yourself? What do you do?
I'm a teacher too.
Oh, well, tip of the hat to you. You were you both at the same school?
Mm-mm. Same county though.
Same county. What do you teach?
English, 6th grade.
And U.S. history.
U.S. history?
Yes, sir.
And public school?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you, I speak to a lot of educators out here, and it seems like you guys are getting, you get a lot of, restrictions or things coming down from the government. I mean, do you have to deal with gender bathrooms and stuff? Not in Mississippi, nothing.
Out of our school, we've had 2 transsexual students, and they've never made a big deal about going into the male's bathroom. Well, think about it. Most of those kids don't want to go into either bathroom, really. Most of them, because either direction they go in the men's bathroom, they're gonna get picked on. Odds are. They go in the women's bathroom, the girls gonna go crazy. They're not gonna like it. So a lot of them, we've noticed they won't even go to a bathroom at all. So it's not really an issue. I don't know exactly how the administration would handle it, but they probably would probably would say, hey, you can use this old gym bathroom or something like that. I figure.
Because there was an article in the paper the other day. As one student she's a female athlete, and she's suing because the transgenders are coming in and ruining women's sports. Right. Women are getting cheated out of scholarships and whatnot because some idiot wants to say.
That is messed up, though. I don't think.
I'm pretty for my area. I'm pretty liberal. But in the state of Mississippi, that just means I'm a moderate anywhere else.
Yeah, indeed.
So, but I'm fine with equal rights and this, that, and the other. And I stand up for LGBT students. But like when it comes, you can't ignore the fact that men and women are created different. We have different. Men are more likely to be physically stronger. It's not fair for them to be competing against women in athletic sports.
Yeah, indeed.
And I consider myself liberal, but not all liberals think exactly the same way. Well, just like not all conservatives do.
Well, let me, for example, back in the day when I was young, I was a hippie, I was liberal, and it was all about free speech and stopping the wars.
Right.
Well, now I've watched where it's gotten to be where the left is stopping free speech.
But see, you see it from both ends. Conservatives do the same thing.
I don't see anybody rioting to stop people to speak on the right.
Like, for example, I'm patriotic, but I'm not ridiculously patriotic. For example, like flag arguments. It shouldn't be illegal for someone to burn the American flag. Now, I personally, I wouldn't.
It is.
I wouldn't. I don't agree with people burning the flag, but that's a symbol. It's just a symbol, And I know all the things it represents, but still, at the end of the day, it's a piece of fact.
That would be considered, to me, a very small minority to begin with, and you're going to find that mostly on the left again too. But what I'm talking about is I was in California back in the day, and I remember Nazis would speak at Berkeley, and you could go in and listen to them and then argue with them, make them seem like idiots, right? But now you have the left with groups like Antifa and others that are rioting to stop conservative comedians from performing at colleges.
Right.
Authors, anybody that even shades right of center is now being blocked from speaking. That to me is abhorrent. I don't see how the left can defend that, especially the war on language. When we get into language, that there's a war on language now. The whole PC correctness, hate speech. Define that. That's subjective.
It is. It is. That is. Yeah.
So, this whole aspect of this war on language seems to me very authoritarian, very fascist, and then the left will turn around and call the right fascists, even though they're using fascist tactics.
Then see that there's fascist characteristics that you can look at on the conservative end of the spectrum and the liberal.
Again,
it just depends.
Yes, but again, if we're going to talk about perspective-wise, you could probably, in this day and age, take all the white supremacists and put them in a high school gym. There's just not that many. But you've got Antifa in every city. You've got George Soros backing major groups, Media Matters, and all these others, and that encompass millions and millions of people that are having this war on language. The censorship on the internet, taking Alex Jones down off of all of the media sites. Hundreds of other conservative sites taken down just because of their views.
Right. Well, and the thing is, that was a private matter. That wasn't a government matter. And I know that that's a private source, say private group.
Well, that argument falls flat because your whole line's on the internet now. A lot of people's lives are on the internet.
Oh yeah.
And if companies start censoring you because of your speech, they're essentially taking your ability to make a living away. That encroaches on your civil rights.
Well, now, okay. Now, a private organization, if it's not receiving public funds, they can censor you in ways that, like a public school, for example. I'm a government worker. You know, my salary is paid by the state of Mississippi. So now them coming in and saying, "Oh, well, you can't say this or you can't say that," that would be.
But it's crossing the line because now we've got big tech so ingrained with government that it's hard to separate the two.
Right.
I mean, you can't just say that, you know, Google is a private company or Twitter is a private company because they are entwined with the politics and with the government now.
It's a hazy area at this point because they're monopolies. It used to be.
Thank you.
And they were illegal and still are. I mean, still.
So if they censor you, where do you go? I mean, they basically can ruin your
monopolize
life.
the market.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's why everyone, you have a right to say asshole-ish things or racist things. Everyone has the right to say those things, but you've got repercussions. There's a reaction.
Again, yes, but why should? I mean, again, where does that line get drawn? Because it's all subjective. Again, one, I've been called a racist out here for doing what I'm doing, but I'm willing here to speak to anybody. I don't hold anybody. You know, I live in a house, you know, with a mixed, multicultural. I never have had any problems. I live in the city of New Orleans, which is gay and black and Latino and every other kind of thing you can think of. I'm not discriminating against you, yet I have been discriminated against because I'm an old white guy.
Thanks for having the Stones as news, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
I'm with you.
I just see the left right now going so far left, like with the Cortezes.
I think that's more of the kind of the media portrayal. You know.
Well, the media is far left.
And if you only watch, like if you only watch CNN and you only watch certain medias, then you would think the far right, everyone that was a Republican was a racist and a fascist, and
the media right now couldn't be any more far left if you call them the Stasi.
I've seen it both directions. I've seen it on the conservative end. I've seen it on the liberal end. Like
Again,
I said, I consider myself.
Why they take to name one liberal site that's been taken down that is InfoWars equivalent? You can't do it. 90 when you get into it, like 98% of everything on the TV is hardcore far left. I mean, even Fox is sort of like, you know, the conservative light. And the reason I say this is because, like, you know, anytime you have commercial money involved,
Right.
Can I give you an example? Half the commercials on Fox are pharmaceutical. Mm-hmm. Well, if a company comes out, and you know, a pharmaceutical company comes out with a vaccine that winds up hurting a bunch of people, do you think Fox is going to give that a fair reporting? Thank you. So that's why independent sites like InfoWars are a threat to the establishment that are also controlled by the FCC, which is what the government.
Right.
So when you have government and commercial control, you're not being told the entire truth. When was the last time we heard the truth about 9/11 on any of the commercial news networks? Most people I speak to know 9/11 wasn't 19 hijackers.
What's your hypothesis on it?
Deep state. I mean, I've talked to people out here that were there that day. Firemen, policemen, survivors of the Twin Towers that told me stories that completely eviscerate the official story. Things you've never heard on the news. So, and then there's architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth. There's over 3,000 architects and engineers that have studied those collapses. Some of the best in the world.
So what do you think the motive? What then? If you think it's some sort of government conspiracy, then what do you think the motive was?
Control.
To control what though? Wasn't that more of a Republican conservative war?
No, it goes way beyond that. It goes way beyond any...
No, well, I'm talking about our specific reasons for getting engaged in 2001 in Afghanistan. Was that whole war and the war in Iraq too, as well? Those were more Republican.
Who benefited from 9/11? In any crime, you have to ask who benefited.
Who benefited? All the corporations that contract out for for the war effort, right?
Military industrial complex and national security state. All right, so they had the motive and the means.
Now, but still, what I'm saying is, wouldn't that be more of a conservative?
No, absolutely not. Where's the liberals coming out? Where's the liberals coming out exposing it? Where you get on the left, anybody exposing it?
They've been discussing what now. That looked like a good excuse. Now, do you know I know you don't believe in the 9/11 story, but we understand
the official
that.
story is complete fantasy.
So backing up. According to that story that you don't believe in, what was the Middle Easterners' motivation for attacking us?
They were patsies. They didn't attack us. They were patsies.
What I'm saying is, according to the media portrayed story of 9/11 that you don't believe in, what's their story as far as the motive?
Well, there are several versions. One was that us being over there to begin with was, interfering with them and that to get us out. They of course, listen to George Bush. He said because they hate our freedoms, which sounds stupid to begin with.
They don't give a shit what we do.
It just sounds stupid to begin with. So again, they feed us fantasies, and we, if you believe those fantasies, they repeat them often enough. A lot of people do.
Right.
So again, I was just going to say the physical evidence alone says we were lied to. If you were to go to architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, the physical evidence alone says we were lied to.
So that plane going through the center of the World Trade Center and hitting those integral middle beams that supported the top, all that sudden collapse right there, all that weight being off balance, couldn't cause the rest of the building to domino effect all the way
Simple high school physics dictates.
Well, tell me.
If you got this much of the building coming down on this much, right? Force equal and opposite force.
But it's not just about force. It's not just about force. All those beams are tied together, so if you take a chunk out of this beam...
No, excuse me. This fell in free fall.
Right.
That means like that.
Right.
No resistance. So if this hits this and hits this floor, it's going to crumble. This too is going to crumble. This doesn't remain solid. This is not a solid block of steel.
Right. We understand.
So if this hits this, it's also going to crumble. It hits this floor, it's crumbling. It hits this floor, it's crumbling. By the time it gets here, it stops. It's not going to crumble the entire building in free fall. And then you've got building number 7. WTC 7, from where we're standing from the Twin Towers, was from here to that brick building. How you doing, guys? If you need anything, let me know.
I will, don't worry.
To that brick building. 47 stories tall, housed all 16 of our intelligence agencies in the mayor's emergency bunker. It was a fortress, and it wasn't hit by a damn thing. And at 5:20 in the afternoon, did this in 6 seconds. Perfect controlled demolition, straight to the ground. It wasn't even mentioned in the 9/11 report.
And you said what building?
I'll give you some information on it. Yes, look at the questions here. Architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth on the bottom, and check it out.
I'll read into it.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
I've never been a big fan of Trump, but I agree with something last week, with the whole pull out of Syria.
Yeah, we don't need to be in these foreign wars.
We don't have any business in the Middle East, period.
Thank you.
Any business.
Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you guys.
Take care.
So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, do you think I might have pushed it an inch or two, or this guy might actually consider that he's been lied to? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All I can do is the best I can do. Everybody, thank you for coming by. And again, if you can hit all the appropriate buttons, do that. And if you have the ability to contribute, please do that. And if nothing else, pray for me out there. Thank you for coming by. God bless you. See you on the streets.